Yeah. You guys, okay, I'm gonna say something kind of wild, but it's because I saw it somewhere. But I don't know if we might have to cut it out. But anyways, someone said that the reason why some girls' vagina is tighter than others is because, huh? No. It has nothing to do with that. They said that it's because like ethnicity wise, like black men have, are known to have larger dicks, so therefore the women have
that makes sense.
Bigger holes.
No, that doesn't make sense at all. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I want to take this moment to sincerely apologize for a topic that I brought up. It wasn't my view or opinion, but I understand that even bringing it up was super inappropriate and harmful. And I've heard so many of you guys, especially in the black community and among black women. And like, I'm just sorry for perpetuating a harmful stereotype. And moving forward, I will no longer bring up any topics that could be harmful to anybody. I mean, we're all Asian and we've dealt with like pretty hateful like stereotypes as well. And I should have known better because I've been hurt by those too, So I truly, truly apologize for that. And it wasn't my intention to hurt anyone, but I understand that intentions don't matter when the impact was so hurtful. And I'm learning and I'm growing from this. And yeah, I don't know what to say other than that. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I think that's the whole point here is that obviously, like she said, we're all human. We are all human. Like everyone makes mistakes. I can't take back any of the things I've said. None of us can. But what we can do is try to make the changes going forward. If you want to hate us regardless, that's your freedom to do so. But I think that the people who support us have been waiting for us to own up and take accountability for maybe some of the things that have hurt them as well. And that's what we're going to do our best to do.
Hi everyone, my name is Alexis. Welcome to my YouTube channel where I talk about important lessons and takeaways that I got from viral topics and viral conversations. Today I'm going to be talking about the videos that you all saw before my intro. Those videos are from what used to be the UTI podcast, and in this case UTI stands for Under the Influence podcast. So I wasn't really familiar with them. To be honest, I'm not really familiar with any podcast for that matter. But these people went viral for the video that you all just saw. These videos are a few weeks old now, and this has been on my mind, and I've been trying to not talk about this, but here I am. I have some things to say, and I'm just gonna say it. So let me get into my video. And before I do so, if you all would please go ahead and hit the like button. Please go ahead and comment. Please share the video. I'm trying to grow my channel, and subscribe because I'm very happy to have you all here. Let's get into my points and takeaways, shall we? First and foremost, the clip, right? The original clip of her talking about people's body parts. It really reminded me of a common theme that I saw in the Asian friend group videos that came out months ago. If you all remember, for those of you on TikTok, and I'm sure those videos got shared on platforms outside of TikTok. So there was a thing on TikTok called the Asian friend group. It started by this guy making a video saying that he's not afraid to admit that he hates Asian friend groups. And then it just started this whole trend of Asian people from Southeast Asia to Northeast Asia to just the entire Asian sector coming out and talking about your grievances with your own people. And there were two main themes that I've noticed with most of the videos that were posted. It was number one, people were accusing the boys and the girls within the Asian friend groups for wanting to hook up with each other. And number two was racism. And when I watched the video of her talking about black people's body parts, that's what I saw. Like those two themes is what I saw within that video. I think her saying what she said was a way to kind of impress her friends, especially her male friends, because none of the girls on the podcast were really gonna care about black women's bodies or genitals or whatever she wanted to shine a light on. So she was doing that to get attention from the man, and she used the racist tactic to do so, which is throwing black women specifically under the bus. So if you all go back and look into the Asian friend group trend that happened, I don't know if it was last year or earlier this year, you would notice two common things in those videos that all of them were talking about. The boys and the girls within the Asian friend groups hooking up with one another, and the racism and the anti-blackness. I never had access or like front row center view to Asian friends groups before, so I couldn't really confirm. I just had to take a lot of your words for it, but I couldn't really confirm if it was true. But after seeing this video, this clip from the podcast, it just started making sense now that maybe those people understood your own people perfectly. Next, she led with hate in her heart. And just like sometimes love, especially love without self esteem or foundational base, will make you look like a fool, sometimes hatred also make you look like a fool, especially when you have no valid reason or when you just hate for no reason. Like you hate without anybody doing something to you specifically that's going to make you hate them. That's really what I saw in her. She just had hate in her heart for no reason. She was so ready to make other groups of people, and by other groups I mean black women, she was so ready to make black women look bad that she indirectly threw her own community under the bus. Because I don't think anybody watched the video and did not instantly think of the stereotype that Asian women have tight. Like, it's very interesting how she didn't even think about that. Like, she was just so ready to make an example and make a joke out of black women that she didn't even think that her people were falling down too. I think most people's mind went straight there. So Asian women are tight because Asian men are small. And if you can see in the video, when she said what she said, one of the guys was like, "No, I don't think that's true. And I think that's because he himself was putting two and two together." But how did she think it would make sense for her to say some BS like that without it coming around to bite her in the butt? Hatred with no motive would make you look like a damn fool. And that's what happened to her at that moment, at that time. And whoever edited the video and posted it is in the same boat as her. Because somebody should have called it out and be like, you know what? These are intrusive thoughts that should never come out. But nobody did. So you're telling me they all watched it. I don't know if they all watched the videos before they're posted, but a lot of people watched it and were like, you know what? This is good enough to be posted. We're going to post and, get our likes, get our followers, and etc. without even thinking. You are so desperate to make other groups look bad that you will make yourself look bad in the process. So what's the point of making them look bad? You can just hide your hatred and not show it. But ignorance, ignorance, stupidity, stupidity. Next, there will never be solidarity amongst POC women and black women. Let that sink in again. There will never be solidarity. In some cases, men would support each other under the basis of patriarchy. Women don't have patriarchy. Women are in competition with each other, as we are made to feel like women who are picked are more worthy and better overall. More worthy of what? To be honest, I don't know. Sometimes I don't even know. Women reinforces systems and ideals that keep us in a position of servitude to others, and we pretty much fight to be the better server or the better mule. We fight to be the better queen of mules, if I'll put it that way, but a mule nonetheless. So what she decided to use to elevate herself as the queen of mules is to dehumanize the group of women who, to be honest, are considered the most opposite from her. If we look at societal standards and the beauty standards just in general, we, as being the opposite of her, will be considered very much beneath her. I'm not saying that black women are beneath her in any way, shape, or form, but we live in a society where there are societal norms that put a woman like her above all else, from what I know. But it's not even a compliment because it's still in a very stereotypical way, in a very fetishizing type of way. But anyways, as long as some of us women have it better than others, or should I say, as long as some of us have it less bad than others, a lot of us women will be comfortable with just somebody being in that lower position while some of us are in that higher up position. A lot of women of color are very in close proximity to whiteness. So they will sometimes use that proximity to, belittle black women and talk down on us, talk badly about us, help the patriarchy maintain the system that says that even though women are beneath everybody else, there's still a hierarchy in womanhood. And if you're closer to whiteness, your womanhood is a little more valuable. So trust me, a lot of women of color, not all obviously, but a lot of women of color have no issue using those systems to belittle black women and put us in our place in a way, and always remind society why they are to be picked and to be chosen and why they're better than everyone else. I think that's what she was doing at that moment. She just didn't think that it would backfire. She probably was living in the Delulu land where she thought that there's no way somebody would ever stick up for black women ever, not even black women themselves, because we're supposed to know that we're beneath her or beneath everyone else. So she failed. And now she and her little crew are paying the price. Womp womp, do not care. Next, I wanted to talk about being a preference for a minute. So, women who are usually preferred have some of the lowest self esteem you would ever see. So, based on societal standards, like I mentioned, a girl like her is really the preference. Like, she's at the top of the food chain as an Asian woman. And yes, it's in a very stereotypical fetishization like type of way, but still, nonetheless, she's at the top of the food chain. I think based on a lot of dating apps, Asian women are the most preferred out of all groups. So I'm pretty sure a lot of Asian women are aware of that. And even though the compliments or the fetishization doesn't always work for them, they would take the compliment however they can take it because that's just how women are. The thing about being a preference, however, is that all that preference is really null and void because it all comes from a place of shallowness. It comes from a place of emptiness. And the preferences, they know that, right? They know, but they rely on being a preference to get certain privileges that other groups of women that are not preferred would not get. And in order to maintain that position of privilege, they will sometimes make themselves responsible to remind society why they are in that position of privilege. And sometimes being in that position of privilege is not because they actually earned anything or did anything to be there. It's because everybody else is considered beneath them. So it's not that they're preferred because of something that they're really doing that's special or because of some type of unique beauty that they have. It's solely based on somebody else being beneath them and looking worse than them. So a lot of preferences understand that it doesn't benefit them for everybody to be equal because they might just lose the spot. A lot of preferences got to the level of being preferred based on unfair beauty standards and biases and racism and colorism, etc. To maintain that spot, they have to make sure that nobody ignores the hierarchy. So it's very important for a lot of preferences for the beauty hierarchy to stay where it's at, intact, untouched. And yeah, they're gonna keep doing everything to propagate it. They're gonna do everything to maintain that system because it benefits them, right? So in this case, it is pretty much the preference job to keep reminding people why everybody else is ugly compared to her or compared to him. In this case, I think the Esther girl, she is consciously or subconsciously wanted to use the moment, right, to publicly remind her male counterpart on the podcast and everybody that's watching that, you see, we are preferred because we are tighter down there. She also could have just threw Asian men under the bus and called it a day. She could have been like, yeah, Asian women are known to have tighter V's because of how small Asian men are. And they would have roasted her, but it would have been good content anyways. But she had to do something to not offend the men within her community, elevate herself, but throw black women under the bus. And I think it was in a way of indirectly maintaining a system that put us in a position of being dehumanized. And I personally think she knew what she was doing. Now, some people might say that she didn't know. No, I think she knew what she was doing. Whatever reason she said what she said for was partially because she wanted to remind everybody that she's the preference and those black girls over there are not. She also didn't want to offend black men in the process because you see, black men are also still a dating option. Even if black men are not the dating options, they are an option to chase after her because a lot of women would refuse dating a man, but they would never refuse money and attention from a man. Let me know what you all think about that in the comments. Next, after it was all said and done, she proceeded to give us a BS apology, which no one really bought into.
On my podcast, I discussed a TikTok video that perpetuated dangerous stereotypes, and I know now that I shouldn't have ever brought up those views, even for discussion, and I want to sincerely apologize to the black community, especially black women. After my initial apology, I took the time to look at the responses and understand why my words may have fallen short. I aimed for clarity to avoid confusion, but I could see now that it could come off as insincere or dismissive, and that was never my intention. I apologize for not providing the depth that the situation deserved, and I hope that this message can reflect my genuine remorse and my commitment to learning and growing from this. And my intention was never to spread misinformation or to hurt anyone, but I understand that by bringing up those views, that was inappropriate and hurtful to many of you guys, and for that I am truly, truly sorry. I acknowledge that I made a significant mistake, and I just want to own up to everything. In the clip, I referenced a video that spread false and offensive stereotypes, and now I know how damaging it is to give voice to these harmful ideas. I should have been more mindful and respectful of the impact that my words could have. This whole experience has been a learning process for me, and I understand that as a content creator, my responsibility is to approach these types of sensitive topics with care. I'm committed to being more aware of the impact of my words, especially when it comes to race and personal identity. I understand that this is a deep issue for many of you, and just mentioning it hurt you, and that was never my intent, but I understand that intent doesn't matter when the impact was so hurtful, and I just want to let you guys know that I never want to hurt anyone, and it genuinely makes me sick to my stomach that I hurt you, and I'm sincerely sorry for that. I also want to apologize for taking some time to address this publicly. I had to take some time off of social media to reflect on how I'm going to be better and to prevent this from ever happening again. I understand if some of you guys don't want to hear this, that's completely fair, and I also know that trust isn't easily regained after a mistake like this. I completely understand. And I also know that some of you guys may respond and say that she's only saying sorry just to say sorry, and I want to emphasize that I genuinely want to take accountability for this and that your feelings are valid. Thank you for those that have been patient with me as I learn and grow from this mistake. I take full accountability for everything, and I just want to say that I hope to be able to gain your trust back through my actions. And yeah, thank you for understanding, thank you for your patience, thank you for listening, and take care.
To her biggest surprise, I'm pretty sure even the people within her community didn't care and they didn't buy into it, and even they were canceling her because they didn't want to be attached to that BS. You see, she never read the room, because if she had read the room, she would know that long gone is the time when people will use black women as a laughing stock to get your likes up and stuff. So I mean, it's still happening today, but a lot of black men are pushing back, and the pushback has been working. So she really wasn't up with the times. But anyway, she learned the hard way. So after that BS apology and her saying that it really was meaningless and nobody bought into it, she then tried to make it a little more sincere. Personally, I don't care, because as long as some money and a brand is involved, there's no telling what's true and what's not. As far as I'm concerned, she really could have kept that apology. She knew what she was doing, and now that her livelihood was being threatened, losing money, losing endorsement deals, she tried to pretend as if she understood. But I also heard on the TikTok streets that that is a 30-year-old woman. Now, to be fair, she looks a little younger than 30. She looks way younger than 30, by the way. But anyways, that's a 30-year-old woman. Even I myself am not 30 yet. She's older than me. So no, I'm definitely not giving her any grace, because she should know better. She really should. And I think when you're gonna sit down a podcast, it's your responsibility to learn about other people, about any of the topics that you talk about before you even bring it up. Again, let me remind y'all, whoever edited the video saw that part and they still published it anyway. So it's not just her, it's everybody else on that podcast. They can go, I'm glad they're canceled, not just internet canceled, but real life canceled. I really hope they just kind of evaporate. I don't care for them. I don't care for that kind of people. Like, they already had a huge black fan base. I don't know why. But anyways, this marks the end of my video. I am very grateful for all of you who sticked around. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, share. A girl is trying to grow her channel. Comment, let me know you stopped by. I'm very happy to have you all here as always. I will catch you in the next video.